Hi, welcome to the fourth lesson, in the value series, which is titled Your Only Competition is You. So, I have been talking about value and valuing yourselves, and one of the ways that we value ourselves is by understanding and accepting our uniqueness. So, the fact that we are all different, makes us all unique. And even though it's okay, absolutely, to admire someone else, so to admire their style, admire their hair, admire how they dress, whatever it may be, admire anything about them, their talents, their gifts, what we have to remember and what's so important to know is that we are all uniquely made. So we shouldn't compare ourselves with anyone else. In fact, the only one that we should compare ourselves to is our former self from the day before. Yes, I'll say that again. The only person that you should compare yourself to is to the you that you were yesterday. Okay? And here's why. Because no matter how much we try to look like somebody else, dress like someone else, act like someone else, speak like someone else, do what someone else does, we can only be us. So we have to learn to embrace our uniqueness. We have to learn to love ourselves right where we are. And if there is something that we can change for the better, then yes, we should work at that. But we should never do it out of the motive of trying to be like someone else because you are special. So we shouldn't compare ourselves to others. And the only thing that we should do, the only challenge that we should give ourselves before we go to bed every night is to tell ourselves, I'm going to be better than I was today, tomorrow. Oftentimes, I will come home from work and I will do a self assessment. So I will kind of scan through the day that I had and I will think about, things like how did I talk to my students? How did I talk to my colleagues? What were the thoughts that were running through my head? Was I positive? Was I negative? Did I say something I shouldn't have said? Did I not say enough? So I think about those things that I did or didn't do. And if it's something that needs to be improved upon, then I make that deal with myself that, you know what, Tanisha, tomorrow you're going to be better than you were today. So if I was a little negative at work and sometimes when you're at your workplace, you get with other colleagues and you may start having these sessions and you rant about the things that you don't like. And you know what? That's normal. It's human. However, if it happens too often and it's not productive at all, then it's really not a good thing. And so that's something that personally I like to work on for myself because even though it's good to vent and get things off your chest, especially with people who understand what you're going through and who understands you better than your coworkers who are in the trenches with you, right? But what I find is that when this becomes a daily habit, it's more of just complaining and it's more of just gossiping than actually being productive. So that's something that I try to work on myself. So that's what I work on. Me. And that's it. Because I can't be anybody else. I don't want to be anybody else. I just want to be Tanisha. And I want to work on being the best Tanisha that I can be. So another reason that we should not compare ourselves with other people or compete with other people is because it puts us in a negative space. And I will never forget watching T.D. Jakes on TV one day, and he said something that was just so amazing. Like it just really spoke to my life on just a great level. And I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he made the statement, and he said, I don't know why it is that Christians don't celebrate other Christians when they get blessed. He said that it was almost as if someone else getting a blessing takes from your blessing. And what we need to understand is that the blessings and what God has for you is for you. It's stored up for you. So just because somebody else got a house, it doesn't mean that now, you can't get a house. Just because somebody else got a car or they got married or they had a baby or whatever it is that you're desiring, just because somebody else was blessed in that particular area, it doesn't mean that, now that's one less baby for me. That's one less house for me, one less car for me. So We just need to be happy for everyone because what God has for us is uniquely for us. And it's in fact going to be given to us. But the reason why our blessings are held up, and this is the revelation I got from that statement, is because we stay in this cycle. So we stay in this cycle where when someone else gets blessed, instead of us celebrating with them, we start to think to ourselves, you know what? Well, when is it going to be my turn? When am I going to get blessed? When is this going to happen for me? And so it's that same negative attitude that we have. Instead of celebrating someone else, we're actually thinking about when is it going to happen for us, and maybe even going to that other side where we're wishing that they didn't get it, or we're secretly hoping that whatever they got falls through. And then this is what's preventing us from getting what God has for us because our heart is not in the right place. So it's a cycle. Because the only reason why we're not being blessed with those things is because we haven't showed ourselves to be mature. We haven't showed ourselves to be at a place where we can celebrate somebody else, trusting that God is going to do the same for us because he's not a respecter of persons. And really, that's what it boils down to. Do you trust that what God has for you is for you? And so when you trust that, then you look at things different. You look at people different. And when people receive blessings, when things happen in their lives that are good things, we can celebrate them. What does this have to do with value? Well, when you value yourself and you know who you are and you know whose you are, you don't have to trip. You don't have to be on anybody's timetable, anybody's schedule. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. The Bible says that promotion comes from God, and that when you humble yourself, he will exalt you in due time. So you just stay humble. You just stay working with excellence and just do what you do. And when the timing is right, then you will be getting those things that you have been praying and asking God about. And it really is just as simple as that. So don't get caught up in the vicious cycle of not being happy for others, which will slow down you getting what you need. Embrace the blessing of others. Be happy for others. Because to be honest, a lot of people, when they get the blessings that they got, you don't know what they went through. That person who may have gotten a house and you've been asking God for a house and maybe that door hasn't opened for you yet, you don't know what that other person's situation may be. That may be their first house. They could have been coming from being homeless to having a house. And the whole time you've not been homeless. And you just want a house because you know what? I'm tired of this apartment, or I'm tired of the smaller house that I have. I'm ready to upgrade or to move up. But we don't know what somebody else has gone through to get the blessing that they got. So we should just be happy for them. And I can speak to this because as a single woman who has desired to be married again, okay, I was married, but who has desired to be married again. And I remember just going through this period of time where like all of my Facebook friends, and not just like Facebook friends, but they were friends of mine who were actual friends that I knew, who I've hung out with, and we've done things. And like, you know, they get engaged back to back to back to back. And it was just like, man, like, you know, Lord, I'm happy for them. But for real, like, can a sister get a man? I mean, I'm just saying. I've been waiting for a little bit, you know. But I was like, you know what, Lord, in your timing. So I had to make it my business, and I had to be intentional about celebrating others when they were going through their blessings, they were receiving what they were receiving. I had to celebrate them. So I encourage you today to celebrate others. And for your final assignment, as this is going to be the last video on this particular topic, I want you to, on this week, compliment another woman. I want you to share in the celebration of someone else's blessing. So as friends and family members, co-workers, whomever it may be, as they receive what they've been praying for, as they get promotions, get a new car, lose weight, whatever it may be, whatever it is that they are happy about in their lives, I encourage you and I challenge you to be happy with them without, but when is it going to be my turn? Just simply, I am happy for you. Because as we celebrate others and we are encouraging to them, we're going to also reap what we're sowing. So if we are sowing happiness, if we're sowing encouragement for others when they get blessed, we're going to reap encouragement. We're going to reap our own blessings. So until next time, Thank you so much for joining me these past 4 weeks as I talked about various things dealing with the topic of value. It's been real, and I can't wait for the next topic. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, add your questions, comments, your thoughts. Have a great evening.